Pikachu! It's gonna be a weird episode, guys.
Pokemon announced that Post Malone is going to do a concert for them, which is honestly pretty cool, and that inspired us to make a Pokemon related copycat. Currently I'm taking some test shots so I can test the Pokemon catching effect. Now, catching a Pokemon can be quite tricky to make it look good. In the anime you can see the ball hanging in the air and shooting a laser, transforming the Pokemon to some sort of energy and being sucked in. I tried to roughly recreate this, and as you can see it does work, but doesn't look so good. Even though it's basically a one-on-one recreation. Strange, right? Well, not everything works or looks good in real life as it does in the animes or games. And that's why in the Detective Pikachu movie the effect is way different. But honestly, I don't like it. And don't get me wrong, like the execution of the effect is perfect and looks amazing, but I do miss the typical red energy. So I tweaked my first test, used some creative freedom, and was able to come up with something that looks pretty convincing.
Like you know, we have some tight deadlines and we really want to take the time to create something really cool. And that's why we decided not to model our own Pokeball. We went to TurboSquid and we found a model on there for $1.50. That's even cheaper than a coffee. So we downloaded that model and we did some minor adjustments. We gave it the iconic white and red color and made them look metallic. Now a mistake that is often made when texturing something in 3D is that the fact that it's too perfect. Well, nothing is perfect. Everything has scratches, bumps, or even smudges on them. Even if you clean something, like this cell phone, you clean it, it will have stains from the water or whatever. Google is talking to me. You need to add the smudges to your model to make it more realistic. But we now have tested our effect, we have the Pokeball, and now it's time to catch some Pokemon. Pikachu! You're mine! For the throwing shot and our effect, we want to do some slow motion where the ball comes at the camera and spins around in slow motion and then shoots away. So that means we need to shoot from a tripod in slow motion so we can match the speed of the slow moving ball with our shot where I throw the ball.
To make our object look realistic in the scene, I'm going to use this Insta360 to make an HDRI. This basically is a 360 image that captures the light and reflections of the scene, so we can easily transfer it to the 3D object.
So the entire time nobody passed, because this is actually a walking area. It's time for me to get into my Pikachu costume, and I see people coming this way. It's typical. It's very typical.
Jordy, be careful, you're not a real Pokemon.
If you have to play Pikachu, you gotta be Pikachu. Pika Pika! No, it's me, it's Jordy! Janik? No, don't do that, no! Ah ja, ik zie niks hè met die katten. You know, I've been thinking, guys. I'm yellow, right? You know what else is yellow? Today's sponsor, Storyblocks, which is an ever-growing library where you can download unlimited video assets. Now, just for instance, me and Janik, we did a cine battle last week where we had to make an entire video just using stock clips. And I was actually blown away with Janik's corporate video. Using nothing but stock clips, he was able to create a stunning promo video. And I made a travel video, and very interesting was that I could find these collections with multiple clips of the same jar. I could find clips about people on Mars, even families inside of a space shuttle looking through out the window. It's incredible what kind of quality that you can find inside the library. And apart from that, you can also find After Effects and Premiere Pro templates. I created a stunning outro with just a few clicks, and so did Janik. With over 1 million video assets, there's always something to keep your content fresh. And the most incredible thing about Storyblocks is that you can download unlimited video assets without additional fees. So get started as well by clicking the first link in the description down below. And now let's Pikachu back to the studio. Yuri, cut here. Cut here. When I jump, you cut.
out of here! Janik!
Day number 3 and we have all our shots. And now it's time to start working on our effect. I hope everything will work out because Jordy is away and it's for something big.
You guys want to hear something cool? So this Thursday and Friday I'll actually be going on a weekend with my girlfriend and I'm gonna ask her to marry me. So wish me luck in the comments, guys. I need it. And Janik is gonna say by the end of the video whether or not she said yes. I really hope so.
While Jordy's out spreading his love, we finished our Pokemon hunt, and we actually had 4 different effects in our sketch. The first one was Janik holding a Pokeball in his hand. And those little green dots that you can see are the tracking points. These we used to help the software to track the movement of the ball. Once we had all this data, we connected a Pokeball to it. The next step was to cut out his fingers and the shadow on top of the ball to paste it back onto our Pokeball. And since Janik was already holding a real ball when we shot this, we didn't have to paint in any extra shadows to blend everything together.
For the second effect, the Pokeball had to fly. So we took our realistic textured Pokeball and did an animation towards the camera in Cinema 4D. Like we said before, we shot everything in slow motion. And this meant that our Pokeball also had to go in slow motion. But luckily we were smart enough to actually throw something in the shot so that we had a reference for our flying ball. Next up, the physics and the timing. Again, we used a reference for the speed of the ball, but we used our creative freedom to make the ball go in an arch and a little bit slower, making it more dynamic. Then we are combining everything together. The main thing is the HDRI to give it a natural lighting. In the compositing stage, we used some color grading and some sound effects to really finish it off. And of course, to give it that extra epicness, we made the clip go into slow motion towards the end so that the Pokeball flies really slow at the camera.
The third effect is the iconic red beam. I animated the ball flying in, hitting Jordy, bouncing back while opening the ball to suck him in. Next, I chose a single cutout frame of Jordy when he was about to be sucked in. This I animated so it looked like he was actually being sucked into the ball. To make it look better, I also warped him to create this nice funnel look. Then this animation I crossfaded with a red version of the same animation to create the transition. And to blend it all together, I added the simple lens flare. Now, if you want to know more in detail on how this is done, we actually already have a tutorial similar to this effect where we explain every single detail. Link in the description below.
Then the last Pokemon catching effect is the ball falling to the ground, wiggling in struggle and eventually coming to a halt. Now, because we are using a shot with handheld motion, we first had to capture the movement data of the shot by doing a camera tracking in After Effects. This data we could then send to Cinema 4D and create a replica of our real moving camera. Now we could easily start adding objects in our scene and they will stay perfectly still in our shot. So the first thing we need is a floor that represents the ground of the forest. Next up, we placed our Pokeball on the right spot and then it was time for the fun stuff. Realistic falling dynamics. Luckily, Cinema 4D makes it super easy to create such dynamics. We just have to make our Pokeball a rigid body, or in other words, a solid object, and by doing this our ball will immediately feel gravity and fall, but it will fall through the floor. And this is normal, because we have to make our floor a collider body, giving it the power to interact with our Pokeball. And now we already have a realistic falling simulation. Of course, we had to tweak some settings because nothing works by default. Now to finish the effect, I animated the ball to wiggle on random moments, mixed this motion with some red lights, and now we are showing the struggle of the Pokemon inside. Eventually, the Pokemon gives up and the ball will completely freeze and the light will turn blue. Of course, I can't forget the shadow of the ball, and this is the last step. With the shadow catcher technique, you can easily cast a shadow on the ground plane. Cinema 4D then knows what to do and will only see the shadow when you are going to render. Now after the rendering, do some compositing to bring it all together and voila, c'est fini!
Pikachu! You're mine! Janik? No, it's me, it's Jordy. Janik? No. You're Pikachu. And I'm gonna catch you. No, don't do that. No, Janik. Go!
Janik, get me out of here!
I got it! I got him!
Janik, what are you doing? Janik, don't wiggle so much.
Gonna catch 'em all. And guys, some great news. Jordy caught Kim's hand. In marriage. So go in the comments and congratulate him on being freshly engaged. And that was it for today, guys. Thank you Storyblocks for the support. And guys, if you want to see more of these awesome special effects, definitely hit the bell button and see us every week coming by on your screen. Thank you for watching and stay creative. It's a sad day for weddings because Jordy doesn't want to party, but I want to party. I want to eat some good meats and drink some good drinks, but he doesn't want to. He doesn't believe in parties. Jordy is a party pooper. Go tell him in the comments we need a party. We need a wedding party, Jordy. Party, party, party.